How you doing, everybody? My name is Henry Burgos, and on this episode of By Appointment, we're going to be talking about um, gun ownership and civilians owning firearms, and of course, what's been going on in the last few years. Uh, I would say in about the last 10 years. How about that? All right. This is the problem that is going on, and that a lot of people don't understand it. And of course, there's people who own guns and who don't own guns, and how to protect yourself, and people feel like they don't have to own a firearm. That's fine. If you don't, I don't have a problem with that. That's hopefully, pray to God. We don't know what the percentage of people are that have home invasions, that a guy comes in your house and he has a firearm and you don't, and you end up dead. The last one that I can remember was number 21 of the Redskins, who had some guys come into his house, and of course they shot him, and was devastating to me and devastating to this area. But he came at them with a bat, and what can you do with a bat against a firearm? You really can't do anything. But let's just say this, that I know many people who've been saved with firearms. I've been in a situation at my job, at my last job. I've carried a firearm for almost 16 years. I've done a little bit of security work, and let's just say that when you have a firearm, it's something that you have to respect. You have to respect it, kind of like a motorcycle. You know that you don't have a seatbelt on a motorcycle, and that you could die, hitting a car at 20 miles per hour. It's that way. It's life or death, and you have to protect yourself. The situation here is that what most people don't figure out is that when they change laws, it really hurts the civilian, the law-abiding civilian, more than it actually hurts the criminal, because the criminal doesn't care, about how many bullets his firearm has. Now, we're talking about assault rifles, and the only people that can have assault rifles are going to be, people of military or police background or FBI, and throughout the years, you can see that that doesn't change anything. A human is a human. Um, Especially like the Fort Hood situation. That was a military guy who's been trained by the military, and what did he do? He opened fire on, soldiers, and killed them, and nobody really looks at those subjects. People like to talk about Virginia Tech and Columbine, and the Colorado movie theater killings, and you got to remember that it's not the firearm itself that does the killing. It's the round that's in it, the bullet. Okay, the bullet that's in it can go through walls. All right, we're talking about from a 22, which is a small bullet, all the way up to a 9 millimeter, to a 40 cal, to a 357, a 10 millimeter, um, 223, 7.62, 39, 51, a 308 round. The bigger the round, the more of a chance that it's going to go through a wall without a problem. And we're talking about, one problem that I've seen is that, in the United States, keep in mind, there are billions of people, and there's so many firearms in the world that I think everybody in the world could own one. That's how many firearms there are. Um, Gun companies do not stop making firearms because there's a war, no war, or you know, peacetime. They continue to make it to make sure that there is peace. Like, let's just say, at the same time that this Newtown situation happened, and I am disgusted with what happened. But thinking of it in a lawyer's point of view, the mother was a law-abiding citizen. She bought the firearms. Her son didn't buy the firearms. She bought the firearms. And My question has been since it happened is why slaughter your mother at home and then go to the school and open fire on the school and kill that many kids. And at the same time, while that was happening here in the United States, across the globe, there was a man who went on a stabbing rampage and killed about as many kids with a knife. Psychology, will teach you that these type of incidents are all here. Here, I have my daughters. I would never think of doing that to a person. Never. Why? What's in here? Do you believe in God? Are you an atheist? You have a problem believing in God? No help? You know, from people. I mean, we live in a society that I feel it's the kind of society that when something happens to you, it just happens, and then that's the norm. No one comes to help. You know, it no one's there. I always thought that the closest people to me and my tightest problems that I've had in my life would be the ones there, and it was actually people who I would say God sent down and as an angel to me and protected me and helped me out through a situation. But never, as a gun owner in this state, have I ever thought about pulling a firearm and killing, you know, a group of people. The way that I look at it in my life point of view is it's kind of like this. When there's a car accident, in the moment that the car collided with the other car and killed the other person, what could you have done? Honestly. You think you're going to stop death? Yeah, death in a large amount. But in that picture, in that aspect, you think that more people die of car accidents than of firearms in a year. But you're going to stop making cars? When things like this happen, it's not about the insanity of the person's mind or, the guy from Colorado who opened fire on the people at a movie theater and now he's acting like he's crazy. You just have to have the will. I mean, because if you're a crazy person for wanting to kill, then I guess all our military men are crazy people. Because they're trained to want to go kill. I remember, the first war in Iraq back in the 90s. One of my family members was becoming a Marine, and hoorah, and I love the Marines all the way. This has no negative aspect on them, but the training was that when he came back to the civilian world after training, and of course he was going to be sent to Iraq, he just wanted to kill an Iraqi. He didn't care who the Iraqi was. He just wanted to open fire and kill an Iraqi. And I saw him at church in his dress blues. Once you've put that aspect of killing in a person's mind, and they have the will to do it, especially after they do it, they kill themselves. It doesn't matter if it's a person with a mental disability or a trained soldier from Fort Hood or a bullied kid at Columbine or, an estranged kid at, student at Virginia Tech. When these type of things happen, what can you do? Can you stop the bulldozer from from just killing the people in front of it? Are you gonna jump in front of it and be another casualty? We will see. I'm an open-minded person. I have an open-minded heart, and to be honest, I want to see where this is gonna go. But since the Brady Law, it's always the regular civilian who buys the weapon, and then the laws change and destroy it for the civilian. Here in the state of Maryland, And a rifle, the highest amount of ammunition you can have is about 20 rounds. All right. And your pistol, you can have about 10 rounds. But when the criminal comes, and you've seen on TV in this area, people know that the capital, DC, Maryland, Virginia, that DMV area has had its bad moments in life, but it's never that bad. We're not talking about Sodom and Gomorrah bad. We're just talking about, tough areas. When the guy goes to rob a bank, he's not following the law. He doesn't care. The aspect of the mind of the criminal is what we're thinking of. They don't care. They're going to get as much ammunition as they can to do as much harm as they can. And to lose one officer is horrible. Horrible. That destroys that family in such a large way. Losing a son, a daughter, a mother, a father, a friend. Who wants to go through that? But let's think about that. Be open-minded, people. Be open-minded. Atheists, devil worshippers, militias. We live in a country that's so full of different nationalities that I remember on 9/11, hearing some people of a different religious background cheering what happened. That's the kind of country we live in. Most people don't think about that. Well, I hope I've said a few things that will have you thinking. And DGGFIGHT at AOL.com. My name is Henry Burgos. You can hit me up. And love the person next to you. Watching these preppers, they don't love the person next to them. They just protecting themselves, and that's selfish. If you believe in God and you believe in Jesus as the Son of God, then you should know that that's not what it was about. It was about all of us protecting and helping each other. If it was that way, then we wouldn't have to feel so fearful about the person next to us. Be more open-hearted. How do you make a friend if you never open your heart up to meet a friend? Or to know who the next person is going to be a friend? And then the other sad thing is that in this day and time, in the way life is, 95% of the people who do you wrong are people who are in your family or your closest friends. So I guess it's all about being able to pick who the best people are. And that's just the truth of the matter. Ask any homicide detective or any detective in that position. Heard that a few times on the first 48. That's the reality of life. God bless. Good night.